Assalamualaikum students. Today we will study about electrostatic field, and this is from chapter number 4. Before starting this chapter, we will talk about some essential mathematical tools. Some essential mathematical tools were introduced in basic concept of electromagnetic static electrical field, time invariant, which is a time invariant field in free space or vacuum. Electrostatic field is produced by a static charge distribution. For example, field produced in a cathode ray tube is actually an example of electrostatic field. Assalamualaikum students. Today we will study about electrostatic field. Okay. Electrostatic field is produced by a static charge distribution. For example, field produced in a cathode ray tube is actually an example of Okay, so the diverse area of application of electrostatic field is electric power transmission in X-ray machines. We use electrostatic and lightning protection. In medical work, diagnosis is often carried out with the aid of electrostatics. For example, electrocardiograms, electroencephalograms, and recording of organs with electrical activity including eyes, ears, and stomach. In industry, it involves in paint spraying, electro deposition, electro machining, and separation of fine particles. Uh, in agriculture, we use it for sorting seeds, direct spraying to plants, measuring and the moisture contents of crops, cotton, and speed baking of bread and smoking of meat. So application in solid state electronics based on electronics, resistor, capacitor, and active devices such as BJTs and FETs. It is based on control of electromotion by electrostatic field. So if we talk about the IT and computers, computer peripherals devices accept magnetic memories based on electrostatic field. For example, touchpads, capacitance, keyboard, cathode ray tube, liquid crystal displays, electronic printers, scanners are the example of electrostatic field. So let's start the study of electrostatic based on two fundamental laws. So basically, when we talk about electrostatic field, we have to deal with the charged particles, and the charged particles we have to deal with Coulomb's law and Gauss's law. So both laws are based on experimental studies and both are interdependent. Coulomb's law is an application or in finding the electric field due to any charge configuration, while it is easier to use Gauss's law when the charge distribution is symmetrical. इसका मतलब ये है कि जी हमारे पास अगर हमारे पास दो सिंगल चार्ज पार्टिकल्स होंगे तो हम उनको सॉल्व कर लेंगे थ्रू कूलम्स लॉ क्योंकि हमारा जो कह सकते हो कि पार्टिकल्स हैं दे आर इंडिविजुअल पार्टिकल्स और वो एक दूसरे को अट्रैक्ट या रिपल करेंगे, ठीक है. On the other hand, if the जो charge distribution it is symmetrical, that means that we have categorized the charge distribution into line charge, volume charge, or surface charge. Then we will use Gauss's law because it is easier to find charge in this through Gauss's law. So application of Gauss's law, special problems that can be solved with much effort using Coulomb's law will solved by with ease by applying Gauss's law. कि जी आपको अगर कोई क्वेश्चन जो कि कॉम्प्लेक्स लग रहा है आपने उसको सॉल्व करना है तो व्हाट यू नीड टू डू इज यू विल अप्लाई Gauss's law instead of Coulomb's law, ठीक है. So throughout our discussion in this chapter, we will assume that the electrical field is in a vacuum or free space, and electrical field in material space will be covered in the next coming chapters. So Coulomb's law and electrical field intensity. Coulomb's law was actually is an experimental law formulated in 1785 by French colonel Charles Augustin de Coulomb. It deals with the force a point charge exerts on another point charge. So by a point charge we mean a charge that is located on a body whose dimensions are much smaller than the other relevant dimensions. कहने का मकसद ये है कि हमारे पास दो चार्ज पार्टिकल्स हैं जो कि पॉइंट चार्जेस हैं और दे आर इन अ वैक्यूम इन अ स्पेस, ठीक है। तो उन दोनों के दरमियान जो उनको अट्रैक्शन और रिपल्शन करेगी एक फोर्स होगी जिसकी वजह से हम उसको उन पॉइंट चार्जेस के अक्रॉस हम उनके अक्रॉस चार्ज फाइंड आउट कर सकते हैं, या हम कह सकते हैं कि जी वी विल फाइंड आउट द इलेक्ट्रिकल फील्ड इंटेंसिटी of these two charges. So for example, a collection of electrical charges on a pinhead may be regarded as a point charge. The charges are generally measured in coulombs. One coulomb is approximately equals to 6 into 10 raised to the power electrons. If you look at the electrons, we say it is very large unit of charge because one electron charge is equals to minus 1.6019 into 10 raised to the power minus 19 coulomb. So that means the charge is approximately equals to 6 into 10 raised to the power 18 is a kind of a very large unit of charge. So Coulomb's law states that the force F between 2 point charges Q1 and Q2, let's suppose we have two charged particles Q1 and Q2, and the force between them is there are three conditions. It should be along the line joining them from Q1 to Q2 or Q2 towards Q1, or it is directly proportional to the product of Q1 and Q2 of the charges. And number third point is inversely proportional to the square of the distance r between them. कि हमारे पास दोनों जो चार्ज पार्टिकल्स होंगे दे शुड बी इन अ लाइन, और जो एक डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल होंगे प्रोडक्ट ऑफ बोथ द चार्जेस Q1 एंड Q2, और इन्वर्सली प्रोपोर्शनल होंगे जो कि डिस्टेंस होगा बिटवीन देम, ठीक है, स्क्वायर ऑफ द डिस्टेंस आर बिटवीन देम. सो if we express this Coulomb's law in a mathematical form, we say F is equals to K into Q1 Q2 over R square. As we have already defined the Coulomb's law, and we said that it is directly proportional to Q1 and Q2, product of Q1 Q2 over R, which is the radius square of the distance R between them, ठीक है. But there is a K which is called the constant, where K is the proportionality constant, and in SI unit charges Q1 and Q2 are in coulombs. The distance R is in meters and the force F is in newtons, so that K is equals to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught. The constant epsilon is known as the permittivity of free space, and it is measured in farads per meter. And हमारे पास जो ये एप्सिलॉन नॉट है जिसको हम कहते हैं कि दिस इज अ कांस्टेंट एंड वी कॉल दैट परमिटिविटी ऑफ अ फ्री स्पेस, इसकी वैल्यू हमारे पास है इज इक्वल्स टू 8.854 into 10 raised to power minus 12, which is approximately equals to 10 raised to power minus 9 over 36 pi and farads per meter. So if we put the value of epsilon in this equation, in this K, which we said K is equals to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught, we will say that approximately it will be equals to 9 into 10 raised to power 9 meter per farad. So permittivity of a free space. Permittivity of a free space क्या है? The physical constant epsilon naught, commonly called the vacuum permittivity or permittivity of a free space, or we can call that electric constant as well. It is an ideal physical constant which is the value of the absolute dielectric permittivity of of a classical volume. Its volume is 8.854 into 10 to the power minus 12 farads per meter. It is the capability of the vacuum to permit electrical field lines. This constant relates the units for electric charge to mechanical quantities such as length and force. For example, the force between two separated electrical charges is given by the Coulomb's law. So if we write down the equation of Coulomb's law, it says F is equals to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 over R square. And we have already discussed that Q1 Q2 जो है, they are the charged particles and R is the distance between them. So if you go back, we'll see that R क्या है हमारे पास, R जो है ये हमारे पास radius है, and this R is the resultant of R2 minus R1, right? Because we are saying F12, so the R, the final radius resultant vector, that R12 will be equals to R2 minus R1, right? And if you want to take a magnitude, we'll say R is equals to R of 1 2, and unit vector, we know that unit vector is equals to a vector and over its magnitude. So this is the vector R12 over R is the magnitude of this vector. So by substituting equation 4.1 into equation 4.4, we may written the equation 4.4 as Q1 over Q1 Q2 over 4 pi epsilon naught into R cube and with a vector R12. Why this is R12 and R3 comes where it comes from. So हमारे पास था Q1 Q2 over 4 pi epsilon naught into R square, और ये हमारे पास आया था यूनिट वेक्टर over its magnitude, जो कि था हमारे पास R12 divided by R. So that's why we just wrote it as R cube. ठीक है. और अगर मैं इसको सॉल्व करता हूँ और मैं कहता हूँ कि दिस वाज द रिजल्टेंट ऑफ R2 minus R1, so we can write it down as Q1 Q2 with a vector R2 minus R1 over 4 pi epsilon naught in the magnitude of R2 minus R1 with a cube, right? And आपको याद होगा कि ये हमारे पास अगर दो हमारे पास वेक्टर्स हैं R2 और R1, दो वेक्टर्स हैं, तो इनको हम कैसे ऐड एंड सब्ट्रैक्ट करते थे. वी हैव स्टडीड दैट इन द चैप्टर नंबर 1. ठीक है. So in the mathematical expression we have done that through the figure 4.1. ठीक है. So there is a basic concept which is worth noting, which is if there are two same charges or like charges of the same sign, they repel each other while unlike charges attract. If you look at the figure A, B, they are the same charges, they will be repelling each other, but on the unlike charges or opposite sign charge particles, they will attract each other. The distance r between the charged bodies Q1 and Q2 must be large compared with the linear dimensions of the bodies, that is Q1 and Q2 must be point charges. The Q1 and Q2 must be static. When we are talking about implementing Coulomb's law, तो हमारे जो दो charge particles हैं, they should be static, they should be in a rest. क्योंकि अगर if they are moving, we cannot find out कि जी actually हमें इनको मोशन में लाने के लिए ही फोर्स एक्सर्ट करनी पड़ेगी, और फोर्स की वजह से ये अट्रैक्शन और रिपल्शन होगी. ठीक है. सो द साइंस ऑफ Q1 and Q2 must be taken into account in equation 4.4, right? So now talk about the principle of superposition for more than two charged particles. Superposition हम यूज करते हैं अगर हमारे पास एक या एक से ज़्यादा चार्ज पार्टिकल है और हम इन सब पार्टिकल्स का जो फाइनल होगा सोल्यूशन उसको हम ऐड कर दें. So if we have more than 2 point charges, we can use the principle of superposition to determine the force on a particular charge. The principle states that if there are n charged particles, for example from Q1, Q2 towards n located respectively at point with position vectors R1, R2 and so on towards Rn, the resultant force F on a charge Q located at point R is the vector sum of forces exerted on Q by each of the individual charges Q1, Q2 and so on Q1. So hence we can write the equation down as F is equals to K Q1 I into R minus R1 over 4 pi epsilon naught with a magnitude of R minus R1 plus, so we are using superposition, तो हम सबको ऐड करते जाएंगे, plus Q in Q2 into R minus R2 over 4 pi epsilon naught with the magnitude of R minus R2 into cube, plus if there is a Q3 then we write the same equation for Q3 and so on towards Qn. ठीक है. If we combine this equation, we can write a summation sign here, which is k is equals to 1 towards n and qk, which will tells you it is q1, q2, q3, so on. So 4.4 is the final equation for if we are using more than 2 point charges. So the electrical field intensity E is the force per unit charge when placed in the electrical field. Now we have to find out the intensity of that electrical field, which we denote that with E. So E is equals to F over Q, where Q is the limit of Q is approaches towards 0. So we can say this E is equals to F over Q, where F is the force and Q is the charge. The electrical field intensity E is obviously in the direction of the force F and is measured in newtons per coulomb or volts per meter. The electrical field intensity at point R due to a point charge located at R dash is readily obtained from equation 4.6 and 4.10 as E is equals to, if we apply that equation 4.6 from which was the equation of F, if we put that in 4.10, we will say this is E is equals to Q over 4 pi epsilon naught R square with the unit vector AR, and that will be equals to Q into R minus R dash over 4 pi epsilon naught with the magnitude of R minus R dash cube. Okay? So this is the way we can find out electrical field intensity. So first of all, if we want to find electrical field intensity, we must understand the Coulomb's law. If you understand the Coulomb's law, then we can implement that Coulomb's law, find the force, and then put the value of a force into E. We will find out electrical field intensity. So if we apply a superposition principle, we can write the equation as follow: E is equals to Q1 Q2 for Q2 and for Qn. So equation is written as, and we can add them all together, find the value of E. So that means if we have charged particles Q1 Q2 and Qn, तो हम लोग हर इंडिविजुअल चार्ज पे उसकी इलेक्ट्रिकल फील्ड की इंटेंसिटी फाइंड आउट कर सकते हैं थ्रू द इक्वेशन 4.12. ठीक है.